Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, the holiday season is not a good reason to take a holiday from your health. Our gift to you is words of wisdom on wellness. Cruising on the QE2 is grand, but for your financial happiness, what happens if you hop aboard a QE3? Will your money sink or swim? Then it's time to reimagine your future. We'll do some retirement community myth busting, plus a program that can help protect you from fraud, and a little known money saving tip for your IRA or 401k.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. The common cold can be all too common when cold weather occurs, and the flu season never just flies by. But are these frequent afflictions something we really need to fear? Yes, especially seniors, where a cold or a flu can lead to a whole lot more serious problems. Dr. Christine Alexander has some suggestions for fighting the flu and conquering colds. Dr. Alexander is the interim chairman of Metro Health's Department of Family Practice. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, should we be concerned about colds and frightened of flus?
I think we do need to be a bit concerned about this, especially when we're talking about the senior population. In that population, folks are more likely to have things like diabetes and heart failure and COPD that could make a simple cold or the flu much, much worse and much more likely to lead to complications.
Yeah, and I've seen that and you've seen that a lot.
Absolutely.
So how can we prepare?
Well, I try to tell people as much as I can, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. The top 10 things to do, wash your hands. And even if you can't do it with soap and water, having the hand sanitizers available.
Which I always carry with me. As somebody who's in the public sector, I've shaken a lot of hands. So,
And so, you know, really, if you can't wash your hands, use the hand sanitizer. But that's one of the best things you can do to prevent all infections, least of which are colds and flu.
Is your advice to stay away from people who are sneezing?
It is actually. You know, when you think about common sense things, if you can stay away from people who are sick, that's going to make it much less likely that you will get sick. Not always possible. You know, people have grandchildren. Maybe they're caring for their grandchildren. So you can't always stay away from people who are sick. So wearing a face mask in those instances can be amazingly helpful. These infections spread through the air. A child coughs or sneezes, it's out there. If the senior has a face mask on, it prevents them from picking it up.
How about sleeping more, you know, just generally being healthy? Exactly. I assume that's helpful.
It is incredibly helpful. Taking their medications and taking them as prescribed. Drinking lots of water as their beverage of choice. You know, getting good sleep. Just the things that we know. Eating healthy. You know, the things that we know.
Flu shots. Are you an advocate?
Absolutely. Essential. Essential to get a flu shot. And they're so readily available now, there's really no reason not to get a flu shot.
What about, you know, pumping up on zinc or vitamin C? Is that helpful?
And I think it's a really interesting idea. Vitamin C has been shown to be great in preventing some colds. Not so much once you have the cold. Zinc has been shown to be pretty beneficial in earlier stages. You do have to be careful with it, though, you know, because people who are on lots of medicines or have lots of other medical conditions, it can change how they absorb these things, how they stay in their system, and how they interact with other medicines. So I think
better to talk to your doctor before you just go to the store and get that stuff.
Absolutely. Or to your local pharmacist, I think, is a great option, too.
All right, so let's say that you do all these things that you've advised and you still get the flu or the cold. Over-the-counter medications, will that do the trick?
Over-the-counter medications can be helpful, again with that caveat about, you know, these could interfere with the other medicines that you're on. So you really want to be very cautious about it. A lot of the medicines for cold and flu symptoms will say right on it, you know, if you have this condition, contact your doctor. So you have to be careful. Sometimes
we want to get into our doctor and you know, during this season in particular, it's so hard to get in, you know, 3 weeks later, but by then, so Is there an alternative?
Absolutely. We actually have Metro Health Express Care, and we have locations kind of all throughout the city, on the further east side in Beechwood, the near east side in Broadway, and then on the west side in West Park. So these places are open 7 days a week, and it's not like an emergency room where you're going to go and wait for hours and hours, and it's absolutely walk-in. You don't need an appointment. So we're happy to see anybody that can't get in to see their regular physician.
Great. And can you get a flu shot there too?
And you can get a flu shot there
Very
too,
good.
and a pneumonia shot.
All right. Well, thank you very much. This is great information. Colds and flu are nothing to sneeze at. Follow Dr. Alexander's advice to be aware and prepared. If you can't quickly get in to see your doctor, and a lot of us can't at this time, go to one of Metro Health's neighborhood Express Care clinics. They're open 7 days a week, and you can get right in. To find the Express Clinic nearest you, call 216-957-1680 or visit metrohealth.org. Express Care is the sub place. My thanks to Dr. Alexander for sniffing out this important information for us.
For more information, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next, a new way to grow wealth. But first, chew on this trivia tidbit. Back in 1914, the Wrigley Company gained attention using a novel campaign to stick its name on the public's mind. Can you recall how their gum ended up being on the tip of everyone's tongue? We'll unwrap the answer when we return.
Welcome to Breckenridge Village, a continuing care retirement community conveniently located in historic Willoughby, Ohio. Whether it's a luxury apartment, a spacious ranch home, or newly built brownstones, it's all here with the added security of knowing more care is available when you need it. Breckenridge Village offers an exciting and upbeat lifestyle, and the food is fabulous, and our staff makes you their #1 priority. Learn more about Breckenridge Village and come see our new Veal Wellness and Aquatic Center.
In 1914, the Wrigley Company doubled the pleasure of people by mailing Doublemint gum to everyone listed in the U.S. phone books. And it was all done without gumming up the works of the U.S. Postal Service.
Ever heard of QE3? No, it's not the latest luxury cruise ship. It's a plan designed to get our economy back in ship shape. Jim Lineweaver has climbed aboard our galley, which is a kitchen, to help anchor our awareness on why the QE3 matters to you. Although Jim's a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group, he also actually knows how to steer boats. I've survived aboard his boat to tell the tale.
Yes,
Thanks for joining us, Jim. Jim, what's QE3?
Basically, it's the third round of quantitative easing, hence QE, by the Federal Reserve Bank and Bernanke. Because what they're basically doing is trying to stimulate the economy again, and they've tried to use a lot of things in the past, and interest rates are already so low, so they've come out with this QE3 to try to get the economy even growing faster.
So first effort has been to lower interest rates, which they're able to do, but now when you say the second step, does that mean printing money?
Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get money into the economy. And the way they're going to do that is by purchasing like $40 billion a month of agency mortgage-backed securities. So by buying those back, they're going to be putting a lot of cash into the economy, and hopefully that's going to provide some stimulation. And then also what they've agreed to do is keep interest rates low until 2015.
So why is the Fed doing this now, the Federal Reserve?
Well, several things. One is they see that when they did QE2, the gross domestic product was at 1.7%. And in 2011, it was still at 1.7%. So it's not getting the growth that they want it to. So they're trying to get this stimulus going. Also, unemployment's relatively high, and a national average, we're over 8%. But in Ohio, we're in the 7s, so it's a little better here than the rest of the country. But they're still not seeing it grow as fast as they would like.
Is the QE3, is that going to help investors? Is that going to help our viewers with their investments?
Yes and no, because what ends up happening is if people had owned individual bonds or bond funds in the past, when interest rates went down like they have in the last several years, bonds go up. However, sooner or later, that trend is going to reverse itself, and interest rates are going to go back up, and you're going to have to be careful on the fixed income securities that you own.
So maybe people should be buying bonds, but maybe not. Depends on what
Yeah,
the
and you're
future
really-
holds, and we don't know that.
Yeah, and you're really going to have to be careful in the next couple of years, and that's why when you're dealing with this area, that's why we use money managers, because they can put some hedges in place if they need to.
Now, seniors many of our viewers live on their investment income, interest, and it's already horrifically low. Is this going to get worse? I mean, does this hurt seniors?
Well, yeah, unfortunately it is from that standpoint. But I think what the government's trying to do is say, yes, we have to keep interest rates low because a lot of people can refinance mortgages out there, free up some monthly income, put that back in the economy. Businesses can borrow at a much lower rate, invest in capital, put money back in people. So from that standpoint, it's really going to help. But unfortunately, seniors, if they're relying on that interest income, they're going to see these low interest rates stay till through 2015.
So is there an easy solution? Is there something that we can do that cushions us against the lower interest rates and yet helps our investments?
Yeah, well, what ends up happening is they may have to look at some longer-term maturity or go to a high-yield fixed income type of investment right now to try to keep that yield up a little bit, but just really got to pay attention starting in 2014, going into 15, about any type of fixed income investment with the possible rise in interest rates.
It's good information, but I will tell you, this is complicated stuff.
It is, yeah.
To find out if QE3 means saying bon voyage to your money or land ho to your money, give Jim a call. He'll help navigate your investments to calm waters where you'll have smooth sailing. We'll be back.
Learn more by calling the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, living the good life after retirement. Looking for places to go? Things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Holiday shopping a grind? You'll find wholesome pleasure at the Fowler's Mill Store Open House, taking place November 23rd through the 25th. Enjoy locally grown grains ground on site into flours and baking mixes. To learn the ingredients for a great time, call 1-440-286-2024 or sift through their website, www.fowlermill.com.
So you've thought about moving into a retirement community, but will you be happy? There are lots of myths out there, and you don't want to make a costly mistake. So what do? Well, we've called in our expert Mythbusters to help us separate fact from fiction. David Shell and Lucy Nixon are here from Breckenridge Village to tell the truth. David's the executive director. Lucy's the director of marketing at this wonderful not-for-profit retirement community in Willoughby. Thank you both for joining us today.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll start with you, Lucy.
Okay.
What are the most common misconceptions about retirement communities?
In the course of the day, it never fails. We will constantly get phone calls from people asking about the big three misconceptions or myths about retirement communities. And really, the first one is, do I have to be of a certain faith or denomination to move into a particular retirement community? For example, at Breckenridge Village, we're owned by Ohio Presbyterian Retirement Services. The name Presbyterian is in there. People will call and say, do I have to be Presbyterian in order to live there? The second is, I heard everybody in a retirement community, they always have these long waiting lists. And then the third is, do I really have to give away all my money when I move to a retirement community?
Three important myths. David, let's start with the money one. Do folks really have to turn over all their money when they go to a community?
Absolutely not, and that's probably one of the things that's one of the largest misconceptions. But we do have people financially qualify. And that's necessary so that we can kind of help support them in their decisions on how to go through the process, some of the important considerations when they're thinking about their future.
What is life care that I've heard of? Is that part of being in a retirement community?
Life care is an important component of Breckenridge Village. As long as no one has divested their assets, no one has been asked to leave our organization because of ability to pay. It's really a remarkable, remarkable component.
Great. And so people sometimes shift into life care as they move forward?
Yes. A lot of people say, are there people that are on life care at Breckenridge? And there's almost 50 people on the campus right now that are on life care.
Nobody gets thrown in.
No. And I think one of the things is that when we're looking at the financial qualifications, longevity is something that no one knows how long they're going to live. And then also there can be a catastrophic illness or something like that. And those assurances that I'm not going to be asked to leave are critical components as people are doing their planning.
Lucy, what about the other two myths, religion and
the waiting list.
Waiting lists.
Okay. A lot of times when somebody sees the name of a retirement community and it has a religious or denominational affiliation, does not necessarily mean that it's exclusive. For example, at Breckenridge Village, we have a Christian mission. Although we have people that are living there from all denominations, we really do consider ourselves ecumenical.
Okay, and what about the wait list?
Yes, the waiting list. Waiting lists are a reality for a lot of retirement communities, but also it's a perception. It's what you hear on the street. So what we basically tell people is pick up the phone, make the call, and find out for yourself. But the bottom line is don't wait till the last minute until there's a crisis.
Lots of people think of a nursing home, David, as, you know, like where their grandmother went, and they think of retirement communities with nursing homes. Is that really the right picture?
No, it's not your grandma's nursing home, and it's certainly not for a lot of individuals today. They're not their grandmother, and it's all about lifestyle, and much of our life is independent living, and we focus on quality of life and maintaining activeness.
The pictures we're looking at, what are these?
This is the wood shop, and there's a lot of areas where the residents come up with programs that they're working on, arts, crafts, everything that they kind of always wanted to do.
And these people we're looking at, they are with it. I mean, they're not, you know,
no.
These are people who are living full lives.
They still have businesses that they're running.
And we have the picture of the chef. I can say from personal experience, that's really high quality food, which I'm sure is an attraction.
It really is all about lifestyle.
That's great. Well, thank you both for coming and dispelling these myths. My thanks to David Schell, Lucy Nixon, for being our fastidious fact checkers today. If you'd like to check out your choices, you'll want to call the number for Breckenridge Village that's coming up next. We'll be right back.
Find out more by calling Breckenridge Village at 440-954-8359 or visit their website, www.breckenridgeohio.org. Next, a pro with tips on how to avoid cons. It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we are going to do overhead extensions to work the triceps in the back of our arms. This is a great exercise because it's going to help us keep nice tight arms while also helping us get in and out of chairs a little bit easier. You ready to go, Armand?
I'm ready.
All right, we got our bands today. We're going to take the band and hold on one side, place our left hand at our left hip. We're going to place our right forearm at about our forehead, and we're simply going to extend the band up above the head and squeeze the tricep back down and all the way up. You want to breathe throughout the duration of the exercise. Let's try to switch sides. Right hand, right hip, left forearm on the forehead, all the way up and squeeze and right back down. How's that feel?
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's a great one, isn't it?
That's
all right,
great.
everybody, 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a week, and now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
When you see me on the exercise segment, you can see I'm probably twins with that guy, right? When you hear about some unlucky senior who's been the target of a scam, have you ever said, I would never fall for anything like that, or, you know, this would never happen to me? The sad truth is that annual financial loss by seniors who are victims of scams is estimated to be almost $3 billion, which means none of us are invulnerable. Roberta Woodard has seen it happen to the best of us, and she's here with some essential fraud protection advice. She's with Home Instead Senior Care. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
So, if we're all so smart and none of this is going to happen to us, how come seniors are such a big target?
Well, there are several reasons, Armand. The first is typically availability. Most seniors are retired, so they're home, they're available to take the call. So a scammer simply has to start trolling, make a cold call, stop by the house, and they're right there. The other is isolation. Lots of families have moved away for jobs, so physical contact can be limited. There's also loneliness. In addition to the family isolation, there's a loss of friendships for lots of reasons, death, those types of things, loss in mobility. So they get lonely, so they're a victim to that very nice cold call person who may not be such a nice person. Then there's sickness. Their yards can be unkept, those types of things. So all a cold caller has to do is go down the block, see the house that's unkept, and you know, that minor home repair that may have only really cost $100 can cost somebody thousands of dollars.
Right.
And then there's prosperity. They're just literally wealths of money and
savings. Go to where the money is if you're going to do a scam.
Exactly.
So how do we protect ourselves?
It's easy. They come at you by the phone, by the mail, by your computer. Guard your mail. Don't send personal information. Don't leave payments in mailboxes. My mother is famous for putting, you know, her credit card bills in the mailbox. Don't do it. There's your bank information.
Because they'll go into the mailbox.
They'll steal it right out. So get a locking mailbox. Use a post office mailbox, or get a P.O. box. Cut down on bulk mail. And I think there's a website up at DMA Choice. Oh, there it is. .org/DMA/member REGIST.action. To get off of those national mailing lists.
Great. Don't give personal information over the phone.
Never, never, never. The current big scam is for somebody to call, say, I'm a police officer and you've been involved in a scam, and the senior will literally give out all of their personal information.
Gosh.
So they shouldn't be doing that. They also shouldn't be responding to emails from strangers, or an email that they don't expect saying, I'm lost somewhere, can you send some money? Don't buy from somebody you don't know online or off the telephone, and make sure that your computers and things are very, very secure.
Okay, and buying things online, is that a risk?
It can be if you don't know. It's like the telephone, if you don't know who you're dealing with. So make sure you get all the information. What's their name? What's their address? Get an email address, and then double check. Once you're all finished, send an email to that address. And if you get an email back that says it's trash, don't deal with them. And make sure your internet security is up to date. Now,
you've given us a lot of good information. What if we don't remember it all?
You can, of course, call our office. It's 330-334-4664, and we will send you a handy-dandy kit. It's a senior fraud protection kit, and in that kit, there is a lot of cool tools, but you can also go online at www.protectseniorsfromfraud.com, where there are checklists and all kinds of fun, interesting information to help seniors stay safe.
That's great, and we need it. Lord knows we need it.
Yes.
Thank you. If you think you can't be a victim of a scam, think again. To protect yourself, trust Roberta's advice. Order the free Senior Fraud Protection Kit. Use the number coming up next. My thanks to Roberta for her very honest overview.
For a free Senior Fraud Protection Kit, call Home Instead Senior Care, serving Eastern Cuyahoga County, at 440-914-1400. Next, a little-known IRA money saver.
Hi, I'm Trapper Jack for Nelson Vein Clinic, and here we have Ann. She had the procedure done to remove the varicose veins. How long ago, Ann?
About 3 months ago.
When should you have done it?
5 years ago. She had relieved the pressure that were throbbing in my veins. I would shop for an hour on cement floors. I ate. Now I can shop all day. My husband's thrilled. The results are amazing, and it totally changed my life.
Isn't it time you took care of your varicose veins? Call or log on to nelsonvein.com.
Did you miss a phone number or a website? Here's your second chance, because we're going to list all that information again. Then we'll be back to tell you about a money-saving tip for your IRA. One of the things we love to do here on Golden Opportunities is reveal little-known tips and strategies that save you money. And we've got a good one today that could help make more from your IRA or 401k for you. Here to let you in on this intriguing tip is my always intriguing law partner, Mike Solomon. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Mike, doesn't everyone know everything about IRAs already?
Well, no. There are a lot of little tricks, and if you make a mistake, it can cost you money. And if you know some of the tricks, you can actually save yourself some money.
And today you're going to tell us how to handle an IRA inherited from a spouse.
That's right. That's right. Now typically, married couples, the husband, let's say, will name his wife the primary beneficiary and vice versa. So that is the typical way to do it. And usually, that's the way for most people to do it.
But it's not for everybody?
Not for everybody. There can be situations where it doesn't make as much sense. For example, if the spouse inheriting the account is under age 59 and a half, it may not make sense to take that IRA, which you typically do, the surviving spouse, and roll it over into her own IRA. It may make sense to treat it as an inherited IRA.
Why?
Well, if the surviving spouse is under 59 and a half, and she takes that IRA she inherited and rolls it into her own IRA, and then needs some of the money, if she pulls it out, not only is she going to pay income tax on it, but she'll suffer that 10% penalty if you're under 59 and a half and take money from an IRA. If it's an inherited IRA and you take money out, even if you're under 59 and a half, there's no 10% penalty.
So, and it just so happens people under 59 and a half may very well need some of the money from the IRA from their spouse.
That's right. That's right. So this gives them the flexibility.
Are there other stipulations to this?
Well, then the next step is once you get past age 59 and a half, the surviving spouse, they might want to consider now at that point taking it from the inherited IRA, in the name of her husband, let's say, and rolling it over income tax-free to her own IRA. That way, she can let the money sit until she's 70 and a half, or take the money out at any time, pay income tax, but no penalty.
So under 59 and a half, roll it, keep it in an inherited IRA in your late spouse's name, and then you can take money out as you need it, and then once you hit 59 and a half, you can
put it in your own IRA. Yeah, put it in your own IRA. At that point, you have complete flexibility.
Great information.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Lots of people make lots of mistakes when it comes to IRAs, and those mistakes can be costly. Follow Mike's advice, and you can save yourself thousands of dollars. We'll be right back.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us. Next week, to sleep, perchance to dream. We'll make a good night's sleep your dream come true. Baffled by your medical bills, we'll prescribe ways to eliminate unexpected expenses. We'll read up on books that connect with those who have dementia. We'll find out who's smiling now, and we'll have a lot of great stuff. Make the most of your golden opportunities until then.